Hello, hello, Marky Marks. My name is Blake. I'm joined by Will Rawson, and welcome once again to the RAWCAST. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing good, man. Had a great weekend with family over for Easter, and today was election day. I voted, did my part, and just got done catching up on some WWE action. Now I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for this too. Though I am happy to say that there was no voting in my county, so I didn't have to do anything. But
Mm.
and for people outside of Kansas, you may have not had to vote today. So vote later. Uh, we wanted to do a quick NXT rundown. Sir Will, go ahead.
Well, NXT, this is from April 1st edition, so the new one comes out tomorrow. Not much has really been going on the last couple of weeks of NXT. They took a little bit of time off for WrestleMania. They had a show last week right after WrestleMania. Not really any storylines going on. We still have a lot of the same feuds. The best match of that episode though was the main event. It was a 2 out of 3 fall match between Hideo Itami and Tyler Breeze, and surprisingly, Tyler Breeze won it. He lost the first one to Hideo, but he got the next two.
That is really surprising. I don't know where they're going with Prince Pretty anymore,
I don't,
but
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of been a back and forth feud a little bit, but all of a sudden it looks like Tyler Breeze, he's getting, for being the heel character, he's got a lot of fans, and the crowd's really split between the two of them. I didn't like Tyler Breeze when NXT was first coming out, but over the last month or so since his return, I've been a Tyler Breeze fan. I actually like his character.
he has a really good character. Though we were talking last time, I think, before WrestleMania. We thought maybe Hideo was getting the push to go over. Doesn't seem like that's the case right now. It does seem like Neville went over, and we'll talk a little bit more about Neville. The one I was surprised that went over was the Lucha Dragons. Uh,
Yeah, the Lucha Dragons. They're kind of they're all over WWE programming right now. They got them on Superstars. They got them on NXT still. They're on WWE, the main roster. Looks like they might even get a shot at the WWE titles with Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. They're
mhm.
all over the place, and they're still maybe in contentions for the NXT tag titles. I don't know what they're doing with those guys either right now.
It's very confusing, but NXT still goes strong even if we're not sure what's going on. It still seems to be very compelling television. Though
Right.
it kind of seemed like this week Raw kind of fell the NXT way and went more wrestling than storyline, or at least that's how I felt.
A little bit. I mean, NXT this week was really interesting. They didn't really do much. We don't know what's going on with the NXT Championship right now. Looks like there might even be a four-way at their next big pay-per-view because Rhino's declaring he wants a shot for it. I was watching the episode. I was wondering, what are they going to be doing with Rhino? Right when his match got done, another squash match against a nobody. He got on the mic and basically said he came to NXT to get the championship. His turn is next. And he says, I don't care what Sami Zayn says. I don't care what Finn Balor has to say or Kevin Owens. I get a shot. So maybe we're going to see a four-way because Sami Zayn did return, and he says he's next in contentions. He wants his rematch. So who knows where that's going. I think it might be a little four-way for that title, but we'll see. And then the only other interesting thing that really happened on NXT, if you want to call it interesting, was a match between Bayley and Emma. Emma came out, and she's having some kind of a character change here. I don't know, even the commentators, they're kind of leaning in like they don't know what's wrong with Emma. What is wrong with her? She came out doing her Emma dance, but it was really unenthused and just like, yeah, here's your stupid dance kind of thing. And then she was going to do the little flip over the ring, or the ropes intro, and she got ready to do it, and she teased it, but then she just went under the bottom rope and just kind of like, shrugged it off. So she's kind of getting a little chip on her shoulder about something. We don't know where that's going. But other than that, that was NXT this week. Not much development. We're seeing where the championship's going to be going. We're seeing what they're going to do with Hideo and Tyler Breeze. Those were the main two things that are really developing.
Mm-hmm. And that's cool. And we'll see some more tomorrow. But I'm glad Emma's back because obviously her little dance and bubbles just didn't work in the main roster. And I don't know if that was a skill level because it always felt like she wrestled a lot slower than any of the other females. Or maybe it was just a gimmick thing. I'm not sure, but maybe this will develop her a little bit more. Though I do feel like WWE likes evil blondes.
We could. Oh, they also debuted a little promo. I forgot. Now that you say evil blondes, in 2 weeks, not this week's episode, but the one after that, we're going to see another debut of a new NXT diva. Oh, I can't even think of her name, but she is a bodybuilder diva. And they were showing her doing like Miss Universe, Arnold type things. It was pretty gross, like spray tan orange and bulging muscles. But she is kind of an attractive woman when she's not doing that stuff. So they had a nice little promo video built up for that and saying that her debut is going to be in 2 weeks.
Well, Triple H did say they had a tryout at Arnold. Maybe that's where they found her, but I wouldn't think they'd put her on TV this soon. I don't know. We'll have to find out if they give any more. But I bet she debuts versus Blue Pants.
Could be.
I don't know if any of our viewers know anything about Blue Pants, but she's basically the NXT Women's Mikey Whipwreck. She just doesn't win. But people love her anyway. So good for Blue Pants. So is anything else we need to cover on NXT? Is that mostly it?
That was NXT in a nutshell. And like I said, the new one comes out tomorrow. I'll probably get to watch it maybe on Saturday. So I won't really know what's going to be happening until then. And
see, this is what you guys don't know is Will is now a 3-job man.
Yep, yeah. I worked 3 jobs.
A teacher, a bartender, and a booze clerk. So I think that's awesome.
I'm busy.
Now we just hope he doesn't tell his students, to encourage them to go to his other 2 jobs, but we don't know. So no, it's all good. Moving on into Raw, like I said, it was a little bit more wrestling-centric because we did not have Stephanie or Hunter, but we did have a Brad Maddox sighting.
I thought the guy was let go. I swear we talked about this a long time ago that he was in that one of the last things of releases, and when he showed up, I was like, what the hell? He's still there.
I don't know. Maybe they hired him back, but I thought he was let go too. And really, he didn't have any segment other than that, just trying to talk to Kane, which I thought, I don't know if you got to see the beginning of Raw or not, but I thought Rollins kept going, and Kane was there.
I loved his little opening to Raw. Big Show did this, and I did this, and Kane was there. Like, and you hear the crowd, like, Kane was there. It was such a good little cheer. Oh, I felt so bad for Kane at the same time, though.
It was so good and so humorous, and they followed the rule of 3s where they did it 3 times of Kane was there, and Kane, what did you do? Well, but you were there. We're happy. And then Kane had to come up and say, well, the authority is always victorious. But they did kind of actually show Kane's muscles for maybe the first time ever. And what I mean by that is what his job is. With the divas trying to get a match and so forth and so forth. It was nice to see Kane in more of an authority role where he actually had some kind of any kind of deal. Yeah. Yeah, and any kind of responsibility at all. Usually he just comes out there, he just looks like another big lackey. So that was good. Also on Raw, we had another "I am a real man" from Sheamus.
The real man in a place full of insects.
Yeah, which that was his Raw promo. His SmackDown promo on Thursday was, "Have you ever seen a real man?" And it was the whole time. My brain is just thinking of uh, uh, Regal's old music when he came to the WWF.
Okay, yeah.
He's a man's man. That's all that went through my head. Hopefully they don't go that way with Sheamus, but boy, he looks very intimidating now.
The new look, I don't know about the beard braids. I don't know about that. The mohawk I'm fine with, but the beard braids, I think those need to come out, and I don't know.
It's a different kind of look at him. I don't know if they're trying to go more Celtic. His theme song is different, so it's no more lobster head and too many limes, which
Well,
which is a shame. 'Cause I missed that one.
JBL calling him continuously near the end of his match on Raw a Viking. So I don't know where that was coming from, but he kept calling him a Viking, and he said Vikings like to fight. Like I thought he was a Celtic warrior, but I guess he's a Viking too, according to JBL.
Oh, great. I wonder if that's Vince's new thing to call him a Viking. As long as he doesn't do the husk of the original Viking or whatever the heck his name was, I'm okay with it. Moving on from weird beard Sheamus, we move on to what I thought was pretty much the match of the night. Not the three-way, not that the three-way was any bad, but to have this match was really exciting. What do you think about this one, dude?
It was interesting. I didn't see it coming because Neville just debuted on the main roster. He won his first match. This is only his second match on the main roster, and basically it was Kane kind of punishing Rollins, telling him he had a match because Rollins was still giving him crap, basically. So he put him in a match, and out comes Neville. The crowd gave him a decent pop. Kind of started off quiet, but the crowd really got into it, and Neville wasn't going down easy. There was lots of 2 counts, but he would never stay down, and of course it took a little extra help, but Rollins did get the win. I saw a lot of people were upset about it, saying, oh, they're already starting to bury Neville. I don't think that's the case. I thought it was a really good match. It didn't make him look weak or anything like that at all, so I don't know why they say he's getting buried already. It was a good match for Neville, just his second match being on that main roster.
He was very good. I thought personally he needs to slow down because it's a noticeable difference when Seth started wrestling him and Seth was getting in all his offense. Neville slowed down, that the match noticeably slowed down because Neville's so fast. I think he needs to learn pacing a little bit better. But he had so many great reversals, and I agree with you. I don't feel like he was buried at all. When it's basically your second match on Raw, it's against the champion. Even if it's not for the belt, you shouldn't beat the champion that quickly, unless you're Goldberg or something. I mean, it doesn't work. But he's going to continue to get better. Okay, for me personally, and this is a small quip, but I don't like the purple.
I don't think the purple bothers me. I personally don't like his look. Even in NXT, I think he would look really good with like some long tights. Not a lot of guys can pull off the little undie type tights, but I think he would look good with any color. It doesn't really, the purple doesn't bother me. I just wish he would get some long tights.
Well, for me, I agree with long tights. But if you're going to have a move called Red Arrow and you don't have any red on you, like, I'd be fine if it was called like the Final Arrow or something like that. But if you're going to say the Red Arrow and he comes out with a purple cape and purple tights and purple everything, it's a little, and like I said, it's a minor quip. But it's something I think of. But I still like Neville, even though he has shark fins for ears. I think he's great. I do think he's great. And then finally, we ended with the three-way with Orton winning, and we'll move on to talking about a little bit about Extreme Rules from what we know. Are you okay with Orton facing Seth for Extreme Rules?
Another kind of big surprise. I didn't see it coming. They had Orton, Ryback, and Roman Reigns all compete in singles matches. And then, to end the night, they had them in a three-way. Whoever won that got the #1 contender at Extreme Rules. And Randy Orton came out, and it was a pretty good match. Even, I'm going to say this, Roman Reigns put on a pretty good match. He was flying all over the place. He did a really good top rope dive into the Authority as they're approaching the ring that I haven't seen him really do. I've seen him kind of do like mid-rope dives, but he got some major air when he did this one spot. And I applauded it. It was really nice. Roman Reigns is looking pretty good. But I was surprised that Randy Orton won. I thought, honestly, it was going to be maybe Roman Reigns. But I guess Randy Orton's the guy they're going with right now. We'll see what they're going to do with Roman Reigns down the road, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is to build up Seth in one way, shape, or form. I'm not sure to have Randy in it. Though if Randy wins this one, if and or buts, it's 13 title runs for him, which is really exciting that he's that close to Cena. And I would be fine with another title run with Randy, a face title run with the new title belt. Granted, he's had it before, but not as a face. Not with this new belt or new championship or whatever. The only thing, I agree with Reigns having a really good match. I was a little worn out with him with the Big Show match that he had right before. Because it was almost identical to what we saw with Brock with the Superman punch off of all 4 ropes.
Yeah. But at the same time, you can't really blame him. It's hard to look good in the match with bigger guys, especially Big Show. He's the biggest and slowest of the entire roster, and there's not much you can do with him. Any way you look at it. So I think they tried their best. I was worn out too. I was like, okay, there's a second one. Oh, there's a third one. It was a little boring, I'll admit.
Yeah, and I agree. It's really hard to work with Big Show, but the entire time he did that, I go, is this his 5 moves of doom?
Oh, I hope not.
That's exactly where my thought process went. I want to be wrong, and hopefully I am, because we saw so much better moves with him in the 3-way. But I am super okay with Orton being a part of this match. If it's to look strong, that's fine. If it's to do something with Randy, that's fine, because I think they still need to build up Roman a little bit more, maybe tease it a little bit more, because I don't think the crowd's going to be behind him, and I think they realize that. But that's just my opinion. Also, at Extreme Rules, we're going to have the rematch of Cena versus Rusev. What do you think about this?
Well, first of all, Cena just keeps surprising me. When I think it can't get any worse, he comes out with an even more ridiculous shirt. I hate the shirt. I really do. I don't like the shirts with the little belt graphics on the bottom. I think it's cheesy, and they were so quick to make that. I don't mind the font and everything, but the belt, if it lost the belt, it wouldn't be that bad of a shirt. But I hate the shirt, first of all. So? I think so. As far as rematch, we saw it coming. I hope there's a little bit of a stipulation that gets added to it, whether it just be an Extreme Rules match or who knows. But I don't want to see the same match 3 pay-per-views in a row. There needs to be some kind of stipulation to this one.
I agree. Now, there is a rumor that Cena's going to change the belt again.
Yes, I read that rumor too.
And if so, that's fine. Last time he changed the U.S. belt, it was the spinner, the original spinner. So we'll have to see if that plays in any way, shape, or form. But I am tired of Cena and Rusev. They have to add a good stipulation. And please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please don't make it a stairs match. That was so boring last year.
The stairs match. Yeah, please don't do that.
It was terrible. It was, oh my gosh, it's awful. Uh, but we'll see if we get anything from that. The only other match that we're kind of aware of right now is the Bad News Barrett Bryan rematch, or well, I guess cashing in his rematch clause. This will be an interesting match, I think.
Right. First of all, I just want to say, holy crap, look at Bad News Barrett's abs. That's the only time I'm ever going to say anything about a guy's abs. Barrett looks pretty ripped and chiseled.
He does, though. If we're gonna talk about a guy's abs, I think now I about said his indie name, and now I can't remember his real name or his WWE name. Finn Balor has abs, like for days.
Who?
Finn?
Oh, Finn. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I almost called him Fergal earlier, which is his old name.
Fergal.
But, like, yeah, because I was listening to a podcast about the Bullet Club, and now I'm all messed up. But he has abs, too. Though, who do you have in this match? Do you have Bryan? Do you have Bad News Barrett?
I'm going to say I think Bryan will keep the belt. I can see it changing at the pay-per-view after Extreme Rules and kind of a little back and forth. Maybe we mix with another one or two superstars. But for right now, I think Bryan's going to be keeping the belt through Extreme Rules.
I think he could. I think you're right on that. Though, as much as we've seen so many contenders that could have the belt after the ladder match, you could rotate through champions real quick. Though I think most of those people, as we saw with the match with Cena yesterday, I think most of those people are going to end up doing his open challenge and going after the U.S. belt, like we saw Stardust and we saw Dean the week before. If it's R-Truth next week, I've called it. I would keep it on Bryan, but if it went back to Bad News and it went back and forth, maybe that's good. Daniel's better fighting as the underdog. Though you still have Sheamus that wants to destroy all underdogs, so maybe he'll get involved in this match one way or another.
Right.
I really think so. As we've had Wade do some guest commentating on Sheamus's match and such, so we'll have to see. Now that's all we know about Extreme Rules so far. We're probably going to have some kind of awesome diva deal one way or another, but we do have to say goodbye to a diva this week.
Oh man, I mean we saw it coming. I didn't think it was going to happen so soon. Like, it was pretty shocking when WWE sent out their mass text message to everybody, and then it was on the website shortly after. I didn't believe it at first. I actually had to go to WWE's website, and it was already posted there. I was thinking maybe SummerSlam, at least. Going to SummerSlam, retiring there. But literally just like a week after WrestleMania, it was pretty shocking.
It was really shocking, and the only thing that really bugs me about it isn't that she didn't get to say goodbye, because we barely ever get that, but that they're still using her Divas, Give Divas a Chance hashtag, and they're still using that as a storyline with AJ gone.
Right.
I wish that wasn't the case. I wish they didn't have to use something that she used to get, attention to further a storyline. You think as many writers as Vince has, that wouldn't be the case. Though I'm gonna miss AJ. I know everyone's gonna say she's probably pregnant. We probably won't ever know. And She could be. She might not be. I would think with all the stuff that happened with Punk, she's completed her dream. She got to be in several WrestleManias, undefeated at WrestleManias, I think, and got to end well. So I don't think it really has to do with anything with pregnancy. I think it was I got to complete my dream. I'm done.
Yeah,
Would you agree? Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, she just had a match at WrestleMania. I don't think any diva, I don't think any WWE, personally on the safety side, would let a newly pregnant woman go out and perform and take any kind of bump at all. That'd just be a PR, hazard is waiting to happen. So I don't think she's pregnant. I think that's maybe in her plans in the very near future. I don't know. I've seen rumors supposedly of some kind of marriage troubles between Punk and AJ already. That's floating around out there even before she announced the retirement. So maybe that played into her announcing her retirement as well. We don't know. She hasn't really said anything, but she did. She's posted like one thing on Twitter since her retirement, just basically saying, "Thank you to the fans. You made this come true. Bye."
Yeah. Oh, give me just a second. Hezekiah, do you want to be on the podcast? Okay. So, Hezekiah is barking. Well, I hope it's not marriage troubles. Though Punk had said to Colt Cabana long ago, I think he was episode 2 of the original Art of Wrestling, that women are his addiction. But hopefully that's not the case. I don't wish any marriage bad at all. So hopefully that's not the case. Maybe she wants to get into UFC.
Maybe she wants to kick Ronda Rousey's butt around the octagon. I don't know.
that my friend would not happen. Ronda is gonna kill everybody. So we say goodbye to her. And now we're going to talk a little bit about some announcements of some network changes and some new shows that we're going to see on USA, starting with Tough Enough.
It's back. In June. I love Tough Enough. I didn't really get to catch the first season too much. First season kind of was a miss for them. But they came out with the second season. I remember watching that with you in the dorms. We were in college. We watched it every week. It was really entertaining. Fortunately, not much came out of it other than the Funkadactyls. But I mean, it was still really good. I loved the show. It was awesome having Steve Austin there, and I don't know why they really didn't bring it out again after that, and it's taken so long to get this third season out finally. But they did announce it's coming out in June. Was it right?
In June, good sir. Yes. The 23rd at 7 Central. It'll be good, I think. I
don't know what they're gonna do as far as their the coaches.
I don't know. They don't have Bill. Who knows if they'll have Trish? They'll probably have Booker. And we know they won't have Steve Austin, which he addressed today in his podcast, because there's been so many rumors about Steve. The only reason he's not part of Tough Enough, because he was supposed to be, they were supposed to start filming in February, but they ran into some complications, and it sounded like they couldn't find enough people, is what it kind of sounded like, that they had to wait until March to start filming. And unfortunately, that was the exact same week as filming the Broken Skull Challenge for CMT, which is Austin helps produce. So he's obviously going to stay with that one outside of that. And he said he would have loved to have been on it. And if it ever happens again, he would for sure want to be a part of it. He did talk about, he was really impressed with Cameron or whatever names he goes by, and he said, people ask me if I'm upset because I let her go. I told her that she was very talented, that she was very articulate, she's very energetic, and she has a place in this business. I just didn't know what place she was gonna have. Um, and he said he lost contact with Big Andy. So
I think most of WWE probably has.
silent rage. Oh my gosh. I was so ticked that he won. I really wanted the Mormon kid to win, the little short buff guy.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hopefully,
We
this third season produces great superstars. Someone gets an NXT contract out of it and goes on to become a success. 'Cause if they don't, I don't think they're going to do another Tough Enough. I think this
well,
is the last shot to really get it working.
I think they need to pull a little bit more well-known names from the indies. I think that would help the internet crowd be a part of the audience, is what I would do. I don't know who they got. And with a diva search on the way on the network, I don't know if we're going to have any female wrestlers, or maybe we will. I'm not sure.
I would like to see, like you said, better known names. It could be from extremely indie rookie leagues down wherever they across the whole country. Maybe even some college football players that didn't quite make it to NFL. Some top of the line athletes that at least have some kind of athleticism. People might know them from college, or maybe they even played one or two NFL games in their careers. It'd be good attention. People would maybe watch it a little bit better.
What I'm afraid of, the people that Rhino have been smashing are part of the show.
Maybe.
and maybe that's who Blue Pants is too. Who knows? We'll have to find out. That one I'm excited for, but I'll probably DVR it. I won't watch probably any of it live. I'll wait till I have 3 recorded and go through them. Is probably what I'll do. But I will try to keep up to date for the podcast here. You'll have to keep Will and I accountable for that one. The other news outside of Tough Enough was SmackDown is going to USA. I'm laughing at this mostly just because I feel like the CEO of NBC Sports thought the chance for USA meant bring everything onto the USA Network.
Maybe.
I
don't know. It was
thoughts on this.
Well, it was a big announcement today. They just renewed a short-term contract with Sci-Fi, so it's kind of a big deal that was coming out. And they're already having troubles previously renewing any kind of WWE programming on USA. Now they're going to have Raw. They're going to have Tough Enough, and they're also going to have SmackDown on there. Tough Enough's only kind of a seasonal thing just through the summer. But still, 3 WWE programming shows on the USA Network throughout the week. And I actually found a little article, what's his name? The president of USA Network, he had a comment about it, saying he basically is making it clear that USA is shifting their focus from original programming to attract a more millennial audience. Features more live and action programming shows.
So they're going to become the E-Network for guys?
That's what it kind of sounds like. It's like Spike Network, but not quite as tough and manly. It's just kind of a more mellowed out man channel entertainment. I don't know what they're going with. That was all that was really said about it as far as why they made the announcement. They also want to have NBC want to have all their WWE properties under like one central location, so they just put them all on the USA Network.
Huh. Weird. Spike isn't as manly anymore. I don't know if you've watched the lip-syncing battles.
No.
Oh,
yeah, I've seen it.
yeah. I don't know what they're doing with that, though Rock did a really good job against Jimmy Fallon, I will say, on the YouTube clips I watched anyway. Though that did, quote-unquote, break the internet today when they released clips of Anne Hathaway doing Wrecking Ball, and she flipped off her opponent. Hooray.
Yeah.
I'm okay with USA having SmackDown. It makes me wonder if they're going to change a little bit, if they're going to be on Thursday still, go back to Friday. Are they going to be live on Tuesday? it could go any way you want to go with that. And if they're going more reality-based, it makes me wonder when they had to sign the deal with NBC, did they have to give some things that could have been network programming for their actual WWE network to USA? Because they talked forever that Tough Enough wasn't going to be back on USA; it was going to be on the network. But I don't know. Well, at least there will be less commercials about really bad sci-fi movies.
Right.
So I guess that'll be good. I hope this is a good move for them. I mean, it's still owned by the same people. I guess, for cable people, this might be a better thing because not all cable gets sci-fi. But we'll just have to see. It doesn't happen until 2016, so we'll have to see about that one. And finally,
days after WrestleMania.
Yeah, days after WrestleMania, that's why I think it's going to be live on Tuesday. And that'd be fine because I prefer watching live TV. There's something for me. I have so much trouble watching Smackdown. My girlfriend loves it, but I have so much trouble because I know it's already recorded. I feel like there can be no surprise. If there is a surprise, it's already been on the internet. And and I don't know if they do, but for me, being in audio, and you've been in audio, and I mean, you still specialize in audio stuff, it sounds like they pump the crowd more, and some of it's fake.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, what do you call it? I can't think of the darn word, but anyways, there's been a lot of rumors basically saying that WWE is really starting to pipe a lot of noise into their shows, especially on SmackDown as of lately, is what I've been reading a lot, and I've listened to it, and it kind of does every once in a while. It just doesn't sound natural, so I think they are. I mean, I don't know. If they go live, it'll obviously kind of fix the problem, even though you can still pipe some live sounds in there as well. I would prefer it to be live. I would watch it probably more often. Like you said, it's on the internet. When SmackDown first came out, internet was still relatively new. It kind of started getting its roots and mainstream popularity around 2000, and no one really did much with it at the time. But now, internet's right there. SmackDown happens live Tuesdays. They record it, and literally within probably 5 to 10 minutes of a match, somebody's already posted the full results somewhere online. You'll read on your Twitter feeds. It got to a point where WWE now actually you'll see them post their own results. You'll see, oh, look at this match, he beat him or whatever. Tune in to see the full match on Thursday. Well, why? I already know he just announced who won it. Why do I want to watch that match now?
And it started with SmackDown, and then now we see it like this year with Hall of Fame announcements. We couldn't even wait until Raw. We had to announce it that day because they were afraid some other website was going to give it first. They are very fearful of anyone reporting something before they do it. And that just bugs the crap out of me. Remember at Royal Rumble, there was pictures of Rock on the internet being at the airport. What is he doing here?
Yeah.
Gosh, and piping in sound. And the reason I said about the piping in sound is when Randy comes out, the same girl screams 4 times every week. Just say it. Just say it. And speaking of piping stuff, and it kind of seemed a little too scripted, this podcast right here, and I don't blame Vince necessarily. I don't blame Cena or Jericho. I think it was a boring topic. There's nothing exciting about what John can bring to the table.
Yeah, man. I mean, this was his chance to really kind of, I don't know, improve his image with the people that really hate him. I mean, this is kind of off, You can break the boundaries a little bit more on these podcasts that they've been doing on the network. I was expecting a little bit of, controversial comments on there, and I guess there were maybe a couple, but it was just typical John Cena lingo. Jericho didn't really delve into it and drive him out, into it a little bit. I kind of wish Austin did this interview with Cena rather than Jericho. I don't know. Something felt really weird about it compared to the other two Austin podcasts.
Well, that was another thing I was going to get into now that we've got here. Austin said there's no heat versus Vince about not going to WrestleMania. He said, I tweeted several days before, there was a lot of things wrong at the ranch I had to fix. I couldn't go. But he said there's no reason I would have ever flown with Taker because my ranch is nowhere near Austin. And he goes, sorry, that wouldn't have worked. He said the podcast, he goes, it didn't work out in scheduling, so he didn't go. He said there's been rumors of, there was supposed to be the Steve Austin podcast every week on the network. He said that there was a deal in the works, but then they both decided they wanted to head a different direction, so they stopped. But they're apparently, as far as Steve knows, Vince had no problem with his questioning. But I agree. I would have preferred to see Steve. The only reason this one wasn't exciting is because Cena's never going to be controversial at all. Even if he does something controversial, he's their Superman, he's their poster boy. It's not going to happen. If they were going to put a controversial figure on the podcast who has history with Jericho, it should have been Stephanie last night.
That would have been nice. Like I said, it was this tip. Jericho tried to get, a little bit of, I guess, Cena to respond a little bit, but Cena was just sticking to his guns, being typical, the face of WWE. He was just saying everything that sounded like he normally says, like they just hand him a script, stick to this, you can ad-lib a little bit, but don't go off track. And that's what it kind of sounded like. I mean, Jericho addressed Cena's 5 moves of doom, basically saying, they're lame, and John Cena basically agreed, but he never said it. He was like, yeah, I got a shoulder move, and he was just like, yeah, sure, if that's what you want to call it that. He didn't really, and then he talked about the springboard stunner that he's been doing the last couple weeks since WrestleMania, and he didn't really have anything to say about that either. He's like, oh, that's what you call it? I just call it, some kind of a weird neck breaker, springboard neck breaker. He didn't really have anything to say. He was getting off track, and it just sounded like, yeah, I'm not going to go into this because I know you're just trying to make me look stupid in front of the IWC kind of thing. The only cool thing about it that I liked was that basically he did admit that they did have something in the works for John Cena to go heel. Jericho addressed it. Are you ever going to do it? He said, hey, we almost did it when I was against Rock. I even recorded a new song. We were working on some new gear.
Yeah, he has the new gear. He said he has the new gear, which makes me think he carries it with him to every single Raw, waiting for Vince to pull the damn trigger. That's what I got off of it.
It could be, and that would be awesome. People that say, oh, Cena's never going to turn, and I've always said, oh, he'll turn if he wants to, and the timing's right. It'll happen. I don't think John's against going heel. Neither is Vince. They just want to get as much of his face image out as they can until things are really getting bad, and then they might pull the heel button.
Well, see, to address his evasion of questions, I think he's so used to radio interviews the day of Raw. That was why he kind of zoned it in. But I wouldn't agree with you saying Vince isn't for it, because he even said, well, Vince and I disagree creatively, completely.
Yeah, he did address that.
He said they did that. So what I think is Cena was ready to go heel against Rock. It made sense to him. Vince said no. That's what I got from that. Vince said no. Because it's not going to happen, and he said, I'm never against it. If it happens, it happens. I don't think it has anything to do with John. John's happy being a face, and he says, oh, I can inspire the little children. But I think he's just content doing whatever Vince wants. He might not
Yeah,
like
I
it,
don't.
but he's content with it.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think basically he knows he's a top dog. He gets whatever he wants, so there's no reason to work for anything. He's just gonna do what he's told to do.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Vince is down for it. But that would have been the perfect time. I don't know anyone else that he could turn heel against where it would have that big of impact.
Yeah, that was the prime time. I was thinking it was gonna happen. I was betting on it week after week. Oh, it's gonna happen, because he was letting little hints of it out, and even let a few hints of it out when he was doing stuff with Brock Lesnar in the beginning. And I was like, oh, it's really gonna happen this time. Nothing. But now that we know he does have a song recorded and he has his new gear for his heel gimmick, and it's stowed away, he has it. So it might be a possibility still within the next few years. Fingers crossed.
I hope so. But see, that was the only problem with this podcast. That was the only thing that was interesting. The rest just felt like a radio deal. And I think you're right. I think Jericho did his best to try to egg on Cena, but Cena's so used to radio disc jockeys trying to do that to him all the time, he just went where he wanted to go with it. I would love to see Cena turn heel. I just don't know if it's going to have the impact that Vince or John thinks it's going to have with anybody else. It's going to have to be somebody big.
It's going to have to be Brock Lesnar. I'm telling you right now, because John Cena and Rock are done. The only person I can think it to happen against and it help Brock even get over more as a face is John Cena turn heel.
Maybe. But how would you bring Brock back? And how
I don't
would
know.
Brock... Like, the only way I see that happening is if Cena gets the belt again. Because Brock would care less about the U.S. belt, or at least that's how we've been led to believe for the last 2.5 years. He just...
Man, I'll tell you this. Here's my fantasy booking. We'll end this. Do we have anything else to talk about this? Because if not, I'm going to end it with some fantasy booking.
No, I want you to do fantasy booking, because there wasn't that much that happened this week. We had a wrestling show, and we had a subpar podcast. That's what happened.
Here's my fantasy booking for the next few months, as far as some of the main guys go. I don't really care. Maybe Randy Orton does win the belt this Sunday, or not this Sunday, but the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules.
Mm-hmm.
We have a face champion for a few months. John, I don't know. The only thing that makes it really hard is because John has the U.S. Championship right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he would. That's what really makes this hard. If he wants to get into the top, the main event again, he'd have to lose that belt sometime. But it would be nice if he did win. Maybe Money in the Bank. Got Money in the Bank. Randy Orton or some other face still has the championship at SummerSlam. John cashes in, kind of teams up with the Authority that's still hanging around. The Authority's still around. And we have some kind of an Authority John Cena. And Brock Lesnar makes his return sometime around SummerSlam as well. He's ready to beat John Cena's ass again. And I think that's the only way I can think of John Cena going heel, but the U.S. Championship makes it really hard for him to turn heel anytime soon right now, I think.
Well, I can throw two different possibilities with fantasy booking there. Either some U.S. champ, some guy finally challenges him and he loses his cool, which would be a sucky turn, but he could do it. Or, here's what I would have them do. Has nothing to do with Brock. It's someone he has teased for years and years and years and years. At WrestleMania 32, Cena turns on Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I mean, yeah, that would be the ultimate way. I don't know. I mean, obviously, people will want to be they'll want a match between the two of them after that, I think. But that would be a good way to turn Cena heel. Maybe Austin's just making an appearance. WrestleMania is in Texas, his home state, basically. He's out there doing some kind of gimmick or whatever, you know. And then, yeah, that'd be a good chance for it to happen at WrestleMania. WrestleMania, they're trying to make a new sellout crowd for the biggest event of the year. John Cena destroys probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, WWE legend of all time. That'd be a good way to do it.
Most beloved icon. It isn't Hulk Hogan, it's Stone Cold.
Mm.
Stone Cold stayed with the WWE, didn't go and make movies like The Rock. You know, Rock comes back and we love him, but he has his own deal. Steve, he just is basically a hermit with a blonde wife. That's all he does. But he will always come back to the WWE to help. I think he could have a match in Dallas versus Cena, and Cena does the turn. If there is anyone that he could turn against and it have a lasting effect, it's making it look like it crippled Stone Cold, the returning veteran, and now he can never, ever wrestle again.
I don't know. I mean, that's a year away. We'll see. I like that storyline. There's still rumors of Rock coming back for next year's WrestleMania even.
It sounded like, he didn't tell us how many years with Beetle when he had that interview on ESPN, but it sounded like it was a multiple-year contract.
Yeah. Right now, there's still a lot of rumors saying Rock and Brock or Rock and Triple H still. I don't know, but maybe, like I said, maybe Authority's still hanging around by next WrestleMania, and I'm just seeing some kind of maybe Cena turns on Austin. You know, Austin's kind of having a feud with the Authority. Cena comes out there, looks like he's going to save Austin. But nope, he turns on him, or vice versa with The Rock. They're beating up on The Rock. Cena comes out to save the day because, you know, Rock and Cena have that connection, respect for each other. But then Cena takes out The Rock again and just kind of stands there with the Authority. We'll see. I still think it's going to happen within the next couple of years. We're going to see a Cena heel turn. It's going to happen.
I'm not against it, brother. I just think, as far as the WWE is concerned, maybe not Vince, but there's a large faction of the WWE that doesn't think there's a face that can take Cena's place. And if they can't find anybody, he may retire with his heel gear in his bag and we'll never see it. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't want it to happen. But I'm afraid of it because he even said with Jericho, well, the crowd always says they want someone new, and then Roman comes and they don't like Roman.
We'll see. I don't know. Anything can happen in WWE. It changes literally minute to minute with Vince and Triple H kind of going back and forth on things. I think it's going to happen sometime.
Dude, I want it to happen. I want it to happen now. But I don't think there'd be anybody he could turn against or we would feel that much of a heel turn. If he did it right now, if he did it next week, we don't have Brock. We don't have any legends. Who would he turn on? Roman? He'd get more cheers.
Yeah, he would get too many cheers doing that. Like I said, I don't know. There's nothing they can really do with him now, especially with that U.S. Championship. Unless somehow they get him to be, you know, that dishonored super soldier and he turns on America. Well, I don't know how they would do that, but that is a possibility down the line. Who knows?
Well, if we went that route, maybe he could do the finger poke of doom, give the belt back to Rusev, and he starts wearing Russia colors.
Oh, man.
We'll automatically hated that idea.
That's almost bad as, what do you call it? Badass Taker coming back at WrestleMania almost.
Oh, screw you. Oh, man. That better never happen. No Taker. I still think we could get a Taker Sting match, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
As you're waiting for Cena to turn heel, that's all I'm waiting for is a Sting and Taker match. That's all I need, brother, and I can die happy.
All right.
But anyway, it's been a good week. We've had some good discussions. Oh, before I go, you said you would have Cena win the Money in the Bank. I say right now, the 7th of April, Dean's going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely probably a good choice, just considering Seth had it, and it would be nice having Dean have it. Dean needs to win a big match soon, or if he doesn't, I'm going to be pissed. Like, even more pissed than Cena not turning heels. Dean needs to win a match really soon.
We need to do some record keeping, but I have a feeling since he's left the Shield, I don't think he's won a pay-per-view. I think it's all been DQ or he's lost in a big match setting.
Yeah.
I don't think he's won since breaking up the Shield. Maybe one. Maybe. Did he have a match with Seth at a pay-per-view?
I can't even remember. I mean, he did, but I don't know if there was ever like clear ending or clean ending ever. They were all just kind of weird matches.
It is a weird match. Anything you're looking forward to this week before we say goodbye?
I really hope something good comes out of NXT. I'm ready for the next big pay-per-view special, whenever it's happening here in about another month or so, probably. I'm wanting to see some matches start, getting set up for their next big card, because right now, the last few weeks, it's kind of been going nowhere. It's kind of been flatlining and getting more and more rambled up. Let's get something developing. I want to see Sami Zayn get back into action again. So hopefully, I don't know when he's making his in-ring return. Maybe even this week. I don't know. But I want to see Sami Zayn. I want to see a lot more story development down in NXT right now.
I agree with that. And since we're getting closer to June, granted it's April, if I was WWE, each week until April, I would release a new contestant for Tough Enough. A web page about them or something. Let us get interested in them. That's what I would do. But I don't know if they have that thought. But well, once again, thank you for listening to me just fantasy book. I really do appreciate it. None of my fantasy booking really ever becomes a reality.
Mine don't either though.
Yeah. You got anything to say goodbye with?
Well, I got my mouth, so I'm just gonna use that. Goodbye.
Oh, this is why he's my best friend, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching, and you can always subscribe. Click that button.